Scholars, today is Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. Scholars, you know we've been working on our word problems every day and time this week in math. And in our word problems, we've been taking a look at what we do when we have two steps in our word problem. So I have a word problem that I'm taking a look at today. So 9 boys and 7 girls jumped in the pool. Then 10 adults jumped in. How many people were in the pool altogether? Okay, so scholars, you know, we normally have our 4 steps. We read the problem, we highlight the keywords and numbers, we make an equation, and then we solve it. We have to do our job. But you know, today I just thought, I want to get a picture in my head of what this is telling me. There was a pool, and the first thing that happened was 9 boys jumped into this pool. And then 7 girls jumped in. And then it tells us 10 adults jumped in. So there are a lot of people in this pool, you can see. But it helps me to get a picture in my head of what's going on before I start thinking, okay, what numbers do I need to use? What equation do I need to make? Because you can see from my quick little drawing that now that I have a picture of what's happening in my head, I can see that all together means that all of these people are in the pool. So let's take a look now. Well, let's go back in and highlight our keywords and numbers and solve this problem. So we know that there were 9 boys and 7 girls in the pool, and then 10 adults jumped in. And now we need to figure out how many people were in the pool all together. Remember, all together helps us know that we are going to find the sum of all these numbers because all of them are in the pool. So we need every one of them to be counted. All right, let's make an equation now. We can move on to step 3. So we had 9 as one number. We see and tells us that there were also 7 girls, so we'll add that number. And then we had, oh, silly me, I forgot to put the actual number, 7 and 10 more. And now we can find the sum. All right, scholars, we've been working through when we have 3 numbers that we have more than one job to do, so we want to make sure that we're taking time to do that. So remember, we can take the first 2 numbers, and that's going to be step 1 of our problem. I can just use some fast math facts to remember 9 plus 7 equals 16. See how quick that is when we memorize our math facts? And then now we can do step 2 where we'll put 16 plus 10 together. Well, scholars, you know that we could draw a picture for it. So I could do a place value chart. I can make my 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones and 1 10. And I can add 1 10 and quickly see that my sum is 26. That means there were a total of 26 people in that pool. That's a crowded pool. Now, scholars, in math, we've been thinking about time for the last week, really. And this week we're focusing on, or at least today and yesterday, we've been focusing on AM and PM. Remember that AM is the 12-hour period that happens from midnight until noon. And PM is the 12-hour period that happens from noon to midnight. Now, I put a chart behind me today that is not like a normal clock. You can see I actually separated in a new way. I have AM on the top and PM on the bottom, and then I have some different times in between. So I want us to take a look at things that we do during those time periods. So let's take a look at this chart. We know that half of our day is AM and the other half is PM. So let's take a look at some of the things that we do. And what we're going to be doing today in our math is making our very own chart of how we spend our day. But instead of thinking of how we spend these days while we're at home, I want you to go back a couple months to when we were at school and think about what your day looked like then. So let's take a look here. So we can see that 12 a.m., we call that midnight. and 12 p.m. we call noon. Now, when we think about our times, I just separated them out here into 3-hour blocks for us. So I want us to be thinking about kind of like a pie, how we would think about this. So at 3 a.m., that's in the middle of the night. What are we all doing? Well, of course, we're going to be sleeping. Nobody's going to be awake. Sleeping is what we're doing at 3 a.m. 6 a.m. we may be sleeping too, but guess what? What time do you normally wake up? Think about not now, because some of us are waking up a little bit later, but what time did you wake up for school? Was it around 7 o'clock? So that would be 7 a.m. So I'm going to put here, this is kind of an old-fashioned alarm clock here, and an alarm clock would say 7 a.m. It's time to wake up. Now, think about when would you leave for school? Well, we started school around 8:25. So by 9 o'clock here, we would already be at school. So when we think about the time of the day that we spend, there's going to be 12 hours from midnight till noon, and another 12 hours from noon to midnight. So here we would say at 8 a.m., go to school. Now let's keep on going. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m. is noon, when we would maybe have some lunch. 3 p.m. is about when we get out of school. So we would be done with school right here. Out of school. So let's just take a look at school. We'll make a chart. We'll color in our chart here. I'm going to use green to color in the hours we're in school. So we said around 9 o'clock here. So I'm going to color in this whole block. All of this is the time we're in school. So this helps us think of how many hours we spend doing different things in our day. So I can color this in. And those are the hours that I'm spending in school, from 8 o'clock all the way till 3 o'clock. Now let's think about other things that we do. We do things after school. Some of us went to the after school program. Maybe we would eat dinner at about 6 p.m. And then by 9 p.m., it's already time for us to go to sleep. Bedtime. So we would think of these times from when we get out of school all the way until bedtime is our time that we have after school. I'm going to color that in red. So now we have our time we're in school, the time that we have after school, and then bedtime all the way till 7 a.m. when we wake up. That's all time that we're sleeping in our day. I'm going to color it in blue. There it is. So look at how much time we spend sleeping of our day. Most of our day is actually sleeping. And now look at, my chart isn't fully colored in, so I have this little hour left in this day. What did we do? We woke up and then we went to school. So what's that in between? That'd be time of getting ready. So let me just do a quick color in of that. And now we can see how we spent our day. Now, those are just 4 categories. Of course, there's other things we do. We could talk about sleep, getting ready for school, going to school, and what we do after school. But we know that there's a lot of stuff we do in these times while we're at school and after school. But guys, that's an important part of thinking about our day and how we use time. What do we do during those times? So today, you're going to be filling out your own chart. It's going to look like this, and you're going to do it right on Seesaw, so you can take some time to think, what time do you normally wake up for school? How long are we in school? What about after school? What time do you go to bed? So you could put something like 9 p.m. for bedtime, but what was your normal bedtime? So it's just a way for us to think about a normal day, even though we're at home right now and this isn't our normal school routine. But we can think about what we normally would do when we get back to our normal days. Anyways, guys, time is an important thing that we get to learn because we use it every day of our lives. So have a great day of learning, and I will see you soon.